Peace and love, everyone. Sending you all positive energy, high vibrations, success on your entrepreneurship, all love, all positivity. Today, I'm going to be speaking about astrology. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, you hit the like button, and you leave me any questions in the description below. Please feel free to leave any comments about astrology, okay? We are one collective consciousness, and I love to hear ideas and thoughts of the collective consciousness. So please feel free to leave something below if you would like, okay? Today I'm going to be speaking about the houses in astrology. And when we're dealing with the houses in astrology, we're dealing with what energy we will be in at our age, okay? For an example, age 34, okay? They're always going to be in the 11th house, okay? So the houses don't change depending on our age, okay? Always be familiar with that. So I'm going to show you all how to find the houses, and it's very simple, okay? So what you can do is the ascendant, okay? Go on astro.com, print your paper out so you can be able to view it, okay? And then what you do is, if let's make this an example. If you're 34, okay, you going to start at under the ascendant sign, okay? And if you go on this specific site, astro.com, it's going to have the numbers by the ascendant. So let's say the ascendant, then it has number 1, okay? Then it has 2, 3, and 4 on, so forth, like it goes on, okay? So what you do is you start at 2 and you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Keep going all the way around till you hit 34, okay? Once you stop at 34, it's going to put you right in that 11th house where age 34 is always going to be, okay? It's never going to change, okay? That's why when you're a certain age and you go get a reading from astrology, and they be like, okay, you is in the 12th house, okay? Just for an example, you are facing a transformational period in your life, okay? You need to do some self-discernment, okay? Why? This is the planets that's connected with Pisces and Neptune, okay? And when you're dealing with Pisces and Neptune, you're dealing with 5D, you know, and it's hard for Pisces to actually stay out of that spiritual realm. You know, they always dreaming, they always mystical, okay? They always doing that inner work, okay? And it's hard for them to find themselves because they always in that 5D, okay? Always be familiar with that. So that's how you find your houses, what house you are in, okay? Also, I'm going to post on my Instagram 333 on my clock below. I'm going to post my link, and I'll show it on my Instagram as well, but it's very simple, okay? Start at 2 and count down till you get to your age, and you'll be able to find out which house you in, what challenges you facing, what good things are happening, things of that sort. Is going to tell you, okay? So like I said, when we're dealing with our houses in astrology, we're dealing with what energy we're in for that age, okay? So we can even go back and be like, well, when I was 20, we can count down and be like, when I was 20, this happened. I had a transformational time, and that's why I was in the 7th house, okay? Always be familiar with that, and that's just an example. So I'm going to start off, and I'm going to let you know the energy of each house, okay? When we're dealing with the first house, we're dealing with our first impression outward into the universe. How do we express ourselves, okay? That's known as the rising sign, okay? How we are viewed to the world, okay? That is connected with Aries and Mars, okay? Always be familiar with that. When we're dealing with Aries, we're dealing with the head of the snake, they say. Okay? I always say that Mars is that fire energy. Okay? I always be familiar with that. Now, second house is dealing with money, possessions, our values. How do we spend our money? How do we save, materialistic possessions, things of that sort. When we're dealing with actual second house, we're dealing with Taurus and Venus. Okay? Venus is all into the beauty. An individual with Venus energy is going to be into themselves. They're going to dress really nice. Their appearance is always going to be eye appealing. Okay? So, third house, we're dealing with activities, learning, actually our siblings, our family, communication, okay, and our mental. Okay? Now, when we're dealing with third house, we're dealing with Gemini and Mercury. Okay? Mercury is the intellectual. Okay? So that's why I said mental. We're going to probably be taking on new projects, doing more meditating, finding ourselves, and tapping into our intuition. Okay? I always be familiar with that. Now, for the fourth house, it deals with our parents, okay? Our authority figure, whoever might raised us, our actual, our inner securities, home life. Also, they always say like a father figure or whatnot, but it's whoever might have raised you up, far as the relationship you had with the individuals, things of that sort. Okay? And when we're dealing with the fourth house, we're dealing with Cancer and Moon. Okay? When we're dealing with Cancer, Cancer is more the emotion, because it's deal with our emotions when we're dealing with the moon sign. So how we express ourselves emotionally, okay, is our emotions balance, and our family life, like I said. So then we go to the fifth house, okay, and that is the house of romance. Okay, also they say sexual connections, maybe intense sexual connections, our children, giving birth, having fun, creativity, okay, and the pleasures, the things that we love to do. Okay, when we're dealing with the fifth house, we're dealing with Leo energy, which is connected with the sun. 7:37 on my clock. So when we're dealing with that energy, we're dealing with how do we shine our light? How do we show ourselves, our beauty, our creativity? Anything with Leo is about the brightness and about the sun, because what the sun do, it continuously creates every day. Okay, I always be familiar with that. Then we have the sixth house. Okay, when we're dealing with the sixth house, we're dealing with how our job life is, our work, our health, our service to individuals. It's also connected with if we have any illness and things of that sort when we're dealing with the sixth house. Okay, the sixth house is Virgo energy and Mercury. When we're dealing with Virgo, we're dealing with a very intellectual planet. We're dealing with an individual that is very picky, and they analyze everything down to the T. And it's not because it's anything bad. That's just how Virgo's energy is, so they want to make sure everything is right, the right way, and they're going to analyze everything. And it's just like I always say, they like a calculator. They want everything to add up. I always be familiar with that when you're dealing with Virgo. Then we have the seventh house, okay? And the seventh house is about our love lives, our marriages, our partnerships with other individuals. And then when we think of the seventh house, we think of Libra and Venus, because that's what they're connected with. And Venus is about what? Love, balance, harmony, justice, and peace. So when we in the seventh house, we might be on the verge of getting married or meeting our divine counterpart and ready for love and good things when we're in this actual seventh house. Okay, so then we have the eighth house, okay, and that deals with like our money, material possessions, far as our debts though, and also our taxes, death, letting go, okay, regeneration. Also, it deals with us sharing and helping others as well. So when we're dealing with the eighth house, okay, that's why I said sex, okay. It's a sexual energy. Is very powerful when you're dealing with Scorpio, okay. It's connected with Scorpio and Pluto. It's also going to be a transformational time, okay. When we're dealing with transformation and intense relationships, that's strictly what Scorpio deal with, okay. They connected with Pluto. Pluto is the farthest planet away from the sun. So when we're dealing with Scorpio, we're dealing with dark energy. Always be familiar with, there's nothing wrong with dark energy. We have to access that darkness. We have to have that soul die out and decompose, rot out in order to elevate, okay. So just when you know you're in the eighth house, we could be facing a very transformational time, okay. It can be, it's death and rebirth, okay. Also purging, letting go of what no longer serve us, and moving forward in life, okay. I always be familiar with that, because when we're dealing with Scorpio, Pluto, we're dealing with individuals that are high priests, okay. They have a body of knowledge, and they teaching, they influencers, they star seeds, they shamans, they high priests. You know, they are huge into the spiritual realm, okay, and they are mystical individuals. But as they were younger, their childhood was very transformational, intense, and painful, and really dark. And why? Because they are high priests. They have a higher calling in the universe. So just know when we're dealing with that Scorpio, eighth house energy is going to be transformational, and it's just so we can grow and elevate. And that's what that planet and that horoscope sign deals with, okay. I always know once we tap into astrology, we tap into ourselves, okay. And the ancients viewed the stars. That's why they were able to tear the characteristics of individuals, okay, by the energy of the zodiac sign and the planets, okay. The planets governs our body, okay. So that's why once we study astrology, we study in ourselves, okay. And that's why we are able to read ourselves once we start studying it, and we able to read the energy of the collective consciousness. Always be familiar with that, okay. So then we're in the ninth house, okay. And the ninth house is about expansion, learning, growth, our belief system, whether we atheists, religions, whatever we into, travel, okay, and adventures, okay. So this is a very good energy when we're dealing with the 10th house, okay. I'm sorry, when I said 10th, it's actually the 9th house. Good thing I looked at that. So we're dealing with higher learning, okay. We're dealing with travel, good things, adventures, whatever we might worship, our religion, atheists, whatever we are digging deep inside of ourselves, trying to find ourselves and find out more knowledge, more learning, okay, and evolving. And that's what it's about. When we're dealing with, this is connected with Sagittarius and Jupiter. Jupiter is the biggest planet. So when we think of Jupiter, just think of expansion. Think of good things. Things are about to start happening, okay? And we're actually going into Jupiter. And I just spoke of this on my Instagram page. We're going into Jupiter next month in November, okay? And it's been individuals that's been out here just working hard on their projects, you know, going through that dark transformational soul dying out and decomposing in that Scorpio and Pluto energy. And now it's like it's about to be over, okay. The light is about to shine like a beautiful sunflower for you. You is about to receive, oh, I can't even speak, spirit channeling, so much love, so many opportunities, so much abundance of wealth, okay, abundance of good friends, abundance of relationships, everything is about to go so great for you in this Jupiter. It's Sagittarius energy, and I'm talking to you as a collective consciousness, and I'm also talking to myself. And I just want to say I'm thankful and grateful for divine protections, guidance, love, wisdom, wealth, and all the great things that I am deserving of that's coming to me. Oh, repeat it after me, because we all been out here working. I know the collective conscious been out here just working and striving and going through these initiations. Well, it's time for us to reap the benefits. We're going to reap what we sow. Okay. I always be familiar with that. So, every time I hear about Jupiter, Sagittarius, like, great energy. Yes, come on in. It's because it's not only just for in the houses, but sometimes as a collective consciousness, because we all here on one accord. And when we have a shift in the universe, as far as the planets, we also have that shift in our life as well. Always be familiar with that. And it's really good energy. So when we're dealing with the 10th house, we're dealing with Capricorn and Saturn. Okay? So we're dealing with our career statuses. Okay? Leo energy, shining our light, how we expressing ourselves, our soul purpose, taking charge, stepping out. And if we've been holding on to a project and we haven't came out with it, it's time to bring it out. Okay? Show your gifts to the world. We are right in the middle of a new moon coming in. Okay? And when we're dealing with the new moons, we're dealing with purging. Okay? This is the month right now that we should be getting rid of what no longer serve us, letting it usher its way out and bringing in the new. Okay? Out with the old, in with the new. Okay? And that's what we basically deal with when we're dealing with the new moons that's coming in. I always tell individuals, we want to be purging, we want to be cleansing, we want to be lighting our sage, cleaning our area. We want to be just in the energy of receiving good things. And once we write it down, we write those affirmations down, then it comes forth. Okay? It comes to us. It's coming to fruition. Okay? I always be familiar with that. So then we go on to the 11th house. And the 11th house deals with Aquarius and Uranus. Okay? And this deals with our friendships. How do we communicate in social groups? Our goals. Okay? Our hopes. Our dreams. We're dealing with great energy. But when we're dealing with Aquarius, it deals with humanitarian, expressing ourselves outward to individuals, showing our creativity. Okay? Meeting new people, when we're dealing with humanitarian, okay, with Aquarius, because that's what they deal with. They very kind-hearted, sweet-hearted individuals. Okay? Kind of introverts, but they social because they have to express themselves outward into the world. Okay? So you could be in the energy where you're not expressing yourself and you more to yourself, where you have to work and use that throat chakra and express yourself, get out and communicate and meet new people. That's what it's about. We're a collective consciousness. So we're great when we're in solitude and we calm and we're in a calm space, because that's when we are able to connect to the center and we tap into our intuitions in the cosmos, and we're able to receive and tap into our intuition, our inner guidance, and it guides us in the right directions. We come out with great ideas, great thoughts, do some self-discernment. But we're collective consciousness, so we have to tune in into the laws of attraction. Okay? And the laws of the universe is that we have to meet individuals. We have to get out and communicate and use our throat chakra and not close ourselves out. Okay? Well, not out, but in. Don't close ourselves in, and don't get out and be expressive and be social. Okay? Because it's all about coming together, uniting, and putting our ideas and thoughts together Even if we don't agree on everything, that's fine. We can disagree to agree. Okay, and we're not going to agree. I always say that all the time, but we can come into terms where we can sit down and have a mutual conversation, without no one getting mad. And that's what type of energy we're in. We're in the golden age. We're in the age of enlightenment. We're in the age of love. We're in the age of healing. We're in the age of elevating. Okay, loving one another and knowing that we are all here co-creating in the universe. Okay, always be familiar with that. So get social, work on that throat chakra, and get out and meet individuals and tap into the law of attraction. Always be mindful when we're on one accord and we're operating out of oneness. Okay, we have to be one within ourselves, and once we have that love within ourselves, we want to express that love and spread that love to others. That's just like if we have a body of knowledge. Okay, like I said, when we're dealing with Pluto and Sagittarius, they're individuals with bodies of knowledge. Okay, so the knowledge is not supposed to be hoarded. Okay, it was an ancient idea. Once we learn, we teach. Okay, the more we learn, we teach, because once we do that, we are planting seeds, and them seeds eventually grow. And don't never think because if you own your social website and you're not getting likes, no one is communicating, that no one's listening. If you are an influencer, a teacher, a shaman, a light worker, there's always someone out there watching you. And if you only have one person you woke up, guess what? That's better than having zero. So always stay confident in yourself. Stay confident in what you stand for. Okay, and always move forward. But if you have to go backward and do some self-discernment, go backwards, and fix what need to be fixed, and then continue on moving. I always tell individuals that I'm not going to say just run, just go forward and don't look back, and I used to before I got enlightened and started getting knowledge. I'm like, I'm gonna have to go back there and fix that. Sorry, ego, because our ego, if it's too big, we too egotistic, it's going to ruin us. We don't want nothing to ruin us. We want to have a balanced ego. Now, we need the ego to actually navigate throughout the world, and be able to actually defend ourselves and stand up for ourselves if we have to. But we always want to be able to have that ego balance and operate from our spirit and our heart rather than our ego. Okay, because our spirit, okay, and that Ba that dwells within, okay, that God within is what we want to tap into. Okay, always be familiar with that. We want to tap into the Ba and the Ka and the Ankh and have them reunite as one. Okay, to vibrate high. So then we have Pisces. Okay. And Neptune. That's the last one. Okay, so when we're dealing with Pisces, like I said before, they're like 5D mystical individuals. Okay, when you see them, they're going to be known as weirdos. Like they stand out. They dress different, kind of awkward. I love it because I carry that Pisces energy. Okay, but when you're dealing with that, you're dealing with transcendence, okay? And being able to find yourself, because like I said, Pisces can be staying too much in that spiritual realm. So you have to get a set schedule and sit down, like write down what you want to do, write down your creativity. If you want to be a YouTuber, you want to start making videos, and you just want to move that knowledge around, because they're very intellectual. They have bodies of knowledge too, very smart individuals. But we always want to balance the physical, spiritual, and mental. Okay, we have to be able to balance them out to operate properly in the universe. Okay, so we don't want to be too much in the spiritual realm. And Pisces have like them dreamy type of individuals. So we want to do some self-discernment when we're in that 12th house. We want to be able to transcend and make up good creative ideas of what we want to do with our life, and also not only creative but personal lives as well, and keep a balance of the physical, the spiritual, and the mental as a whole. Okay, always be familiar with that. I love you all, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, you hit the like button, and leave any questions, and I'll be back with more. I'm also posting my site on my Instagram, so you can all view me on Instagram as well. I love you all. Peace and love. Good day.